It is now 2023. Why are we still seeing so many leaked songs? Piracy in music has been around for years and leaked songs are nothing new. But despite increased efforts from artists, producers, and engineers, today leaks are basically impossible to avoid.
I was held for ransom with my project. They wanted me to pay them $1 million because they had all my records, every single last one, all the features. Some hackers.
The leaked music industry is no joke. Juice WRLD fans alone have now spent over $600,000 buying his leaks through group buys on Discord, with some going for as much as $20K for one song. There are a few different ways that music can leak, all of which we will see in this video. These hackers then sell the leaked songs to fans for often very large amounts of money. While on one hand this means more music for fans to listen to, at the same time it is an artist's worst nightmare when their songs leak. However, the truth is, it's not going to stop anytime soon. I feel like we're all guilty of listening to leaked songs at one point or another. A quote leaked song can be anything from a full CD quality version of an unreleased track, or it could also just be a short rough demo from a recording session. As a fan, it is hard not to listen to a leak from your favorite artist, especially when it's someone like Playboi Carti who only drops music every few years. But again, leaks can have a very negative effect on artists and their management, which we'll get into in more detail in a second. Specifically when you're someone like Young Nudy who had 172 of his songs leak last December. Like, he got nuked of what could have been at least 10 albums in a single day. Or when you're someone like Trippie Redd, who is just one of the many artists who have seen their project leaked in its entirety.
And this has been a big thing, like, they have been hacking and leaking, like, crazy. Like, at least my last 2-3 albums, I don't know how they do it.
So let's start there. How do they do it? The entire process of leaking music is no simple task, although one that can be extremely rewarding. Here in 2023, one of the biggest ways music is leaked is through a technique known as SIM swaps. The process works like this. The hacker first begins by gathering as much personal information about you as possible, whether from social media pages or by purchasing it via the dark web. Doing so allows them to learn things like your birthday or mother's maiden name, for example, which are common security questions they might be asked. The scammers will then call your phone's mobile carrier and pretend to be you, claiming you either lost your phone's SIM card or damaged it and need a new one. A SIM card is a tiny portable memory chip that must be inserted into a smartphone for it to work. They contain loads of information and are what allow you to call and text. So then, using some very persuasive skills, hackers are able to convince the customer service rep to activate a new SIM card, which is one owned by the hackers. Dog, just call a carrier saying you're a person you're not, one Reddit user says. Sounds stupidly simple, but it works.
The bottom line is that if I can convince the customer service rep on the phone that I am you, they'll switch the phone number over to my phone. Or maybe I pay an insider to make the switch for me. The weakest link in this whole chain is the customer service rep, and since they're usually not highly trained nor well paid, they're an easy target.
So then, once the worker activates the new SIM card in possession of the scammers, they are now in control of your entire phone. Two-factor verification forces most accounts to send a text message to your phone number which you must enter to gain access. The problem is, they send that code to the phone now owned by the scammer. Thus, they are then able to log into your accounts and access all of your files. Back in 2019, Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey was victim in one of the most high-profile SIM swap cases we've ever seen, as hackers then went on a string of bizarre posts to his account for the 20 minutes they had it, such as my favorite, James Charles got some nice booty. Now, scammers do hit some pretty massive licks using SIM swaps. However, if you think about it, leaking music is a lot less risky than directly stealing money from someone. Just a few weeks ago in January, one of Lil Uzi Vert's best friends, Rock, was SIM swapped. Don't call or text none of my phones, dudes hacked my phone, iCloud, and Instagram on some SIM swap shit. This led to hundreds of unreleased tracks that were saved in his phone now hitting the internet in the hands of leakers.
And I know that they're anxious about getting the songs, but at the same time, it's in a development stage. It's like we don't go out like and say, hey,
it's not ready yet.
Yeah, I want to build a house, and then tomorrow the whole thing's up.
However, while SIM swaps are a huge problem and one of the biggest techniques leakers use, it is not the only way that unreleased music gets out. Many scammers are also able to hack emails of artists, producers, and engineers, gaining access to online shared project files. You get a lot of music through hacking emails. One 17-year-old leaker told Vice, "You get into the email account, filter through emails that have attachments, and then you'll find songs because they all send songs via email. Sometimes people also export recording sessions from studios the songs were made in. Sometimes we see people in an artist camp sell them off for a quick bag. Or more rarely, you'll even see producers and engineers sell the songs themselves if they know the track will never release."
I used to leak the Migos music.
Did you really? On purpose?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I would like take songs off their computer. If they weren't going to use the song, I would just drop it on my SoundCloud and the blogs would pick it up.
And then you have cases like the recent Michael Jackson situation, where his longtime engineer Brad Sundberg had his hard drive and computer stolen, which contained previously unreleased Michael Jackson music.
We turned our backs for a few seconds, and the computer and the hard drive, not only were they gone, but it seems as though this individual actually climbed out of a window and ran across the roof and broke a skylight, and the whole thing is just very unfortunate.
So the leakers have the unreleased songs. Now, how do they sell them? The most common way leaks are sold is through group buys on Discord. A leaker will post a song with a set price, which is at least usually a couple $1,000s depending on the artist and song, and then fans will all chip in until that price is reached. They raise the money, and the leaker sends them the track, giving listeners that feeling of exclusivity by being one of the select people in the world who have that song, despite paying huge prices with the chance the track could still release someday. Eventually, though, the roles reverse, and one of the buyers will then decide they want to sell the track off for some easy cash. Thus, the cycle repeats and the song keeps spreading.
They work hand in hand together to make selling unreleased music extremely easy.
Juice WRLD fans are often the ones you'll see paying the highest prices for his songs. I guess it does make a little more sense since Juice is unfortunately no longer with us, and given that a lot of fans are not happy with how Lil Bibby and Grade A have handled his posthumous music. $15K for rental? DJ Scheme tweeted after one of Juice's songs sold. "Y'all trippin', it's a shame the way some people treat his music. Trust me, we don't want that, but Bibby won't give a so we have to go this way. We been told Bibby to drop it, that's his fault." Fans replied. No party this year, F the hackers. However, leaks affect the rollouts of all artists' albums when they happen, whether they're posthumous or not.
I kind of was like, if I don't drop it now, then it's going to be out there and they're going to hear it regardless, and they're going to hear the bad mix regardless, so.
Trippie Redd's new album Mansion Music leaked weeks before it released, forcing Trippie to rush the album out, something we see happen very frequently with artists. Lil Yachty is another recent example. This then messes up the rollouts and promotion labels plan for these releases. Artists can either choose to rush the project out like Trippie did, wait until the originally scheduled release date and miss out on streaming numbers and sales profit, or just scrap the music completely and move on. You gotta feel bad for artists when this happens. While sometimes it is their own fault since rappers aren't exactly the most organized humans, an album they had been working on for months releases without their control and they don't make a single penny off of it. Especially someone like Kid Cudi, who saw his latest album Intergalactic leak with legit fart sounds added all throughout.
Such an angel in your halo.
I doubt that's how Cudi wanted fans to hear his new album on first listen. However, while it is easy to see how leaks negatively affect our favorite artists, I suppose there are a few positives that can come out of them. In a way, leaked songs kinda serve as a test run for the fans, giving artists an idea if their audience fucks with a song or not. For example, back in 2019 when Lil Mosey's track Blueberry Faygo unofficially hit the internet, the leak quickly went viral thanks in large part to TikTok. Mosey then saw this reaction and decided to actually release the song, which soon became the biggest hit of his career, although he would have never dropped it if it hadn't leaked.
I mean, I'm not sure how it got leaked,
But at first I was like, kind of my shit up. But then once it started blowing up and it was trending, obviously, I was like, all right, well, I mean, it's kind of a blessing because I wouldn't have known.
The Kid Leroy's 9-time platinum track Stay was another super viral leak, which helped land Justin Bieber as a feature after seeing all of the hype. Fans refer to their favorite leaks and snippets as, quote, grails. Since artists already know their fans love these songs, we often see guys like Lil Uzi Vert including these grails on deluxe projects, or on EPs such as his recent Red and White. When you think about it, the biggest thing leaked songs affect is streaming numbers for artists, since if fans listen to leaks, that obviously doesn't count, nor are fans likely to play the song as much when it does actually release. But while numbers do play a big role in today's industry and do help land other big opportunities, streaming has always been one of the lowest sources of revenue for artists. They make the majority of their money from tours and merch. But again, at the same time, nobody likes when their work is released without their consent.
You know, it's unfortunate that that shit happens, but it happens. And you just gotta prevent it from happening. Even if that means carrying a hard drive, especially if you're a big artist, people, they'll smile in your face as soon as you leave, sell all your shit.
Despite artists and producers' increased efforts through steps like no longer using file-sharing platforms like Dropbox, exporting session files immediately after recording, and requiring unfamiliar engineers and friends to delete their copies of the songs, it is still practically impossible to prevent leaks. Today you can find leaked songs on literally every streaming platform. Using sites like DistroKid, people are easily able to upload unreleased songs under different artists' names, like Lil Cambo, for example, whose upload of the iconic 2019 Playboi Carti leak Pissy Pamper would actually reach the #1 spot on Spotify, which is insane.
Before the song came out, there was a snippet on YouTube and it sounded like it would be a hit if it was released. A couple weeks later, the song got leaked and I posted it to my channel not thinking about how big it would get.
This is another way leakers profit off of these songs, as one leaker told Pitchfork they were paid over $60K a year from uploading leaks to DistroKid. But having them taken down is also very difficult for artists and labels. All of the major record labels have legal teams and departments basically dedicated to removing illegally shared music. But in today's day, with the amount of leaks and people constantly posting them, it's hard to keep up and catch them all. The good news, at least when it comes to SIM swaps though, Apple's new iPhone 14 is the first iPhone to be sold exclusively with eSIM. eSIM is instead a digital SIM card that allows you to activate a cellular plan without having to use a physical SIM. However, if I know anything about the internet and about scammers and hackers, they will always find new techniques to work around it. With entire dedicated forums like leak.cx, multiple different subreddits, and overall a rapidly growing community that fiends for unreleased songs, leaks will continue to be a big problem in the music industry. Leaked music is by no means legal, nor is it morally right. We claim we are fans, but then essentially go and steal from the artists we love. Yeah, but I mean it's just music. The 17-year-old leaker says, "We are all going to die one day, we might as well have beautiful music." If you want to hear more on this crazy industry, I'd also recommend checking out Maddie Ball's fire video he did on it too. Music leaks are not going away anytime in the near future. But I guess if you are going to listen to unreleased music, that's cool, you know, if you like it, go ahead. But all I'll say is then you should also try to support the artists in other different ways.